Hey guys, I'm going to do a quick update from the Star Knowledge Gathering in Asheville. Man, it is always, it's an incredible feeling whenever we have these events, and it's just amazing what all happens, and it's really neat to see how the growth of each one of us occurs as we finally come together, and we can come together for doing the ceremonies and to see each other again after we hadn't been with each other for several months before. And it's always interesting to see. I'm starting to recognize that whenever we're being called to these events, wherever we're being called to, a lot of times what's going on is the area that we're being called into needs a little bit of work done on it. It's not just that we're here to raise the frequency, but a lot of times we got to release negativity and old perceptions and spiritual energies of the lower densities and vibrations and trauma that's been occurring at the places that we go to for many years, hundreds and thousands of years, that's ingrained into the land. And it's really interesting coming to this one, and after so many that I've been to before, and to hear others speaking of the same things. It's really interesting to note that as we're driving into these areas and we're all coming together, a lot of times our light that many of us are manifesting on our own. Some of us are still in that stage where we're being sent light by the masters and by the our star brethren, higher selves, future selves, however you want to say it, for the planetary change. And as we do, as that light is coming through us and out, the lower vibrations come in and up. And boy, did it hit me hard yesterday. Oh man, I ended up having to leave at Grandmother Silver Star, one of my special grandmothers, her presentation last night. I couldn't hang with it anymore, and went and laid down and had 4 intense visions as I was in that in-between mode between very awake and very asleep. And I took my 11th initiation as I came through Mississippi, and went by to see my special someone that has activated me before, and we didn't see each other face to face, but just by being in her energy field, I took my 11th ascension initiation. And since then, my vibration has been so high. I haven't until last night switched gears. There's always a rewiring of your inner electrical system, the way that you function and the way that your brain works, the way that the various bodies, the emotional body, physical body, spiritual body, light body, all the various bodies, how they work together. And there's a rewiring with each higher initiation that you take. Sometimes it takes a little while to adjust in and let everything fall into place. And anyway, it was interesting because as I get here to Star Knowledge, I find out I'm not the only one. There's a whole bunch of us out there that's going through the same things at the same time. And that's really that's so cool to see, because for me it helps me to understand that I'm not going through these things just by myself, and there's a whole lot of us on the same vibrational level and the same initiational levels that are experiencing the exact same thing at the same time. And it's interesting to see so many people that are following my YouTubes or following my Facebook page, and to see them here and to see how the work that I do, how it affects them. And we just had lunch in the building right behind me, and I saw someone that I had met at Venus Transit who had found my videos by fluke on YouTube, and she couldn't find her heart at that point, and she hadn't had a relationship in a dozen or so years, and she has a 17-year-old child, young adult man that she's still taking care of, and she was all worried about everything falling apart, and she couldn't find her heart space. And it was really neat to see her just walk in, and she is lit up like a star, and she's got a new love of her life with her, somebody that she's in relationship with. And how my contact and the videos that brought her into the Star Knowledge Gathering at Venus Transit just absolutely changed her life. And it is so neat to see that. I don't think of these things that I do as anything other than me telling my story, on a video. And sometimes you don't realize how much telling that story affects other people. And one of the messages that is coming through is, for all of us to share our stories. If we've got to write about it, if we go do lectures about it, if we, do workshops at, your local bookstore, natural food store, or yoga studio, go do it. Go tell your story. Tell people what's going on. Express your feelings. Be open about it. It's time now. The change is upon us. And the messages coming through from all the other chiefs and grandmothers and light workers and light warriors and way showers. We're all way showers. The messages, they're the same. They're merging together. We have the exact same understandings coming through us at the same time. This morning this is 9/22/12 today at 12:55 p.m. right now, and this morning at 10:59 we entered the fall equinox, the autumn equinox, and we had a very focused ceremony of those of us who came together in prayer for the releasing of the old ways, the releasing of the old energies from Mother Earth, and those spirits that are hung in that almost like a purgatory level between being here in 3D and incarnating and going on farther, going back to the higher realms. And boy, could I feel those changes and the shift from last night, when so much light was going out of me and so much negativity was, from the land, from the other people around, so much lower vibrational stuff is coming through and back out to be transmuted. The changes from last night until today are just incredible. How do you describe something like that? And it's at every one of these gatherings. Every one of these gatherings, we have the same experiences, and for the first few I didn't get it. I just thought, wow, that's really strange, and we were all spinning the cycles of what we're centering up as at the 12-12-12 and then 12-21. The cycles were so spread apart. Our circle on that spiral as we were going to center were so spread apart, and now it's coming so close together, and the messages, the experiences, it all seems to be the same with everyone who is on that different part of the spiral. Some people are on a higher spiral, taking a more wide loop because they're just now awakening. Those of us who have awakened over the past 25 years we're in a much tighter spiral as we're spiraling towards that center oneness. And it's so interesting to see the various levels of that spiral that people are on, and persons on whatever level of that spiral are experiencing the same things at the same time. And that is really cool. I don't really know how to describe it more than it's all about vibration, and it's all about frequency, and it's all about whatever level of consciousness you're attuned to. And there's no better or worse. There's no higher or lower. There's only various rates and speeds of frequency. That's all it is. That is all it is. And we're all coming to the same one. And we're all playing a part in the whole unfolding of all that's going down. And everything's perfect. We weren't all supposed to wake up at the same time. But I wish there were more people that were awake. We wouldn't have so much of those lower vibrations that we're having to remove from planet when we do these ceremonies. But it is truly interesting, and it's neat to see so many people awake and aware and participating now. This gathering's not as large as some of the ones that had been. We probably have 300 people total, and I would say at Venus Transit we might have had that many just at the snake dance. But you know, it's still a really monumental event every time we have one of these. And it's not just for those of us that are coming together at these gatherings, it's for the land that we do ceremony upon. It's an absolutely beautiful place here this time. I'm going to show you around. This is the lake at Camp Pinewood, the various houses, the various cabins, the various places that we're gathering for the classes and for talks and for ceremonies, and it's a really, really beautiful place. And the energies sure have cleaned out and stepped up since we've been here. And this is only halfway through the second day, so I would imagine that by the time we leave here, it's going to be pretty intense. It always is wherever we go. Wow. For those of you guys that haven't come to one of the Star Knowledge gatherings, there'll be another one here in Arkansas in the next month or so, 2 months. I don't know the dates, but I just found out that it will be around the Hot Springs area, and that'll be between now and the 12-12-12 ceremonies that will be in Phoenix. And I highly encourage anybody and everybody who can come participate, and if you can't, join us spiritually. You know, jump in your Merkaba and come on down. Oh, guys, such a magical time we're in. It truly is. And I'm so grateful to all of you who are consciously participating in this change and who are stepping outside of your old parameters that defined you and that boxed you in and that contained you, and who have started beaming like suns and stars. And that's what we're here to do. That is exactly what we're here to do. And it's so interesting to see so many people who are doing it. And it doesn't take many of us who are high powered to come together to make some really awesome changes. It's so interesting to see and view and witness all those who have activated their chakras and stepped into their enlightenment process and who are living the more 5D realms. It's an amazing experience, and it's just foretelling what we're getting ready to experience after the end of this year and the end of this cycle as we go into the age of Aquarius. Anyway, we're at the end of this video, and thank you all for being you, and I love you all. Namaste.